Hey, what's up? This is Farah, aka Dr. Laurent. I am coming today to talk to you about the top 5 excuses that are keeping you broke as a nurse. Okay. And of course, I'm going to talk about the event of the year and where you should be March 6th and 7th. 6, 7. March 6th and 7th in Tampa, Florida at Nurses Making Business Moves. All right. So, for those who don't know me, I'm the host of that conference, founder of International Nurse Coach. I'm a nurse career coach for new graduate nurses, help them level up, land their dream job in less than 90 days, making 6 figures. I'm talking 100,000 to 175K. Helped over 200 nurses, and I've been featured on media such as The Jennifer Hudson Show, Black Enterprise, and many more podcasts in media. Also, like I said, the founder of Nurses Making Business Moves. So you definitely want to listen to the end. Here are the top reasons that are keeping you broke as a nurse. Okay, so let's get into it and let's address these excuses that many of us have because I've also had similar excuses. I am not exempt. Okay, but of course, I'm changing the narrative, right? Changing the mindset. And this is why I've built this movement, Nurses Making Money Moves and Business Moves. If you've really never heard about it before, well, now you're hearing about it. Basically, it's a movement that I'm creating for nurses, whether you're a nursing student, a new grad, or an experienced nurse, to really start to move towards wealth. Okay. Because I believe nurses need to step in to their power to ask for more, negotiate their salaries, and pivot in their career whenever they want to, whether that's pivoting into an executive role, education role, or being an entrepreneur. All right. So here we go. Let's get into the top 5 excuses that are keeping you stuck, keeping you too comfortable, because when you're comfortable, you're not really excelling, right? So let's get into it. Number 1. Give me one sec, y'all. With 2 kids, something else. But anyways, as I'm mentioning, the first top, excuse that everybody has for not investing in themselves and in their growth is it's too expensive, right? But it's not really sometimes that it's too expensive, it's just unfamiliar, right? And why are you saying it's too expensive? What is the real cost, right? Of being too comfortable. The real cost is if you don't invest now, you're still going to be in the same place and the same stuck feeling that you've been year over year over year, not growing, staying in your comfort zone, and just blaming everything on, oh, it's too expensive, it's too expensive. But if you change your mindset away from scarcity mindset to like holding on to money, I don't have enough, it's too expensive, I'm not going to get this money back. The economy is in a bad place right now, so I got to hold on to this money. Um all types of crazy things are going on, so I got to hold on to my money, right? But if you're not investing in yourself and you're not growing, that means that you can't make more money if you don't invest in yourself and in your growth. Okay. These kids are driving me crazy. Anyways, you can't invest in yourself, right? So if you can't invest in yourself, you're not going to grow. And I had to learn that, early on in my career and in business. I used to think like, whew, well, I don't want to like put money towards this coaching. What if it doesn't work out? What if? But when I started stepping away from scarcity mindset of like what everything that can go wrong and what if I lose this money and it's like a scam? Like I've been scammed with websites and different things like that, but it doesn't mean that I don't move forward, right? So you really got to obviously do your research, but you have to bet on yourself and you have to start investing in yourself. And that's why so many nurses stay stuck. You know, we have no problem investing $50,000 on a nursing degree, $100,000 going to Ivy League school, getting a master's degree, getting a doctorate. And don't get me wrong, I have a doctorate, I have a master's. We don't question those things, right? We'll just like put the money out. But if you think about it, you know, what is the real ROI on getting that doctorate or that master's, right? Um, you got to think about it, right? A lot of times nurses think that advanced degrees are going to automatically equal more pay, and that is not necessarily true. You have to learn how to leverage your skills, how to leverage your brand, how to leverage your network, and think like a business. This is why I built Nurses Making Business Moves, because we're not taught these skills in nursing school. Yes, some schools touch upon certain things here and there, especially if you're in a master's or a doctorally prepared DMP program, but it's not going to be to the level of like entrepreneurship. They're not going to teach you negotiation skills, sales, marketing, those types of things. So my point in this, this excuse of it's too expensive, you know, look at it from an investment standpoint. You got to start thinking, if I make this investment, what am I going to get out of it? And sometimes it's not always monetary gain. Okay. So think about it. Think about what I just said. Sometimes when you make an investment, it's not going to always equal money automatically in the short term, right? Investing in yourself and your skills is a long game. So you're developing your skills, you're, getting better at whatever it is that you're doing. And it's a long game, right? It's not like you're going to get money right away. You're stacking up your skills so that you can leverage them later. So whether that's investing in a particular course or like coming to the Nurses Making Business Moves conference, right? You have to look at it that way. And then the cost, what's the real cost? The cost is it's really not that expensive. The cost is you're going to be in the same place next year, right? We're January 2026. Everybody has made these New Year's resolutions for those who's made goals or resolutions and all these things. But if you're not taking action, you're not investing in your growth and your personal development and being in certain rooms to be able to grow and make these connections, you're going to be in the same place next year. Okay. So, you don't want to stay stuck for another year. So it's really not too expensive because I know y'all be dropping money on bags, shoes, and concerts and all these things, right? So you just got to look at it for yourself because sometimes it's not just getting money, it's like actually like gaining a skill, making one connection, or shifting your mindset. Shifting your mindset, that's transformative. Like there's no price point on, changing the way you think because you're stacking up skills that are forever. You're going to use these skills forever. So that's why I say I invite you to come to Nurses Making Business Moves because we're going to talk about business, marketing, and all the things. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, objection really that a lot of people have that's like an excuse is, and I've used this and I still use it till this day sometimes, and I have to check myself a lot. I will say, oh, I don't have time, right? But if you really care about something, you value something, you will make time for it, right? So that used to be one of my number one excuses even before starting a business was like, well, I don't have time to start a business. I just don't have time. But you do, you have time. You can make time. Many of us are constantly wasting time, right? So one thing that I like tremendously cut out of my life is watching TV. Yes, I'll still watch TV with the kids. We'll watch a movie, or sometimes I'll watch like a football game or basketball or something like that. But I've tremendously cut out TV because I'm constantly working on my business or my skills, like up leveling, listening to podcasts on business and things like that, right? So you have to look at your time and see where you can cut out unnecessary things to make more time for what you really want to do, right? And instead of like trading your time constantly by like working overtime, picking up extra shifts, and all these types of things, you can start growing your skills and your skill set and really leveraging all these things, your intellectual property, um, attending events that are in alignment with what you want to do, and that will help you exponentially. So let me give you an example. Some people might think like, oh, I'm always seeing Farah on LinkedIn, or I always see her pop up on my feed on TikTok. Like some people are like, she's just wasting her time or whatever, right? I've been doing this for 4 years, going live, creating content, but I don't see it as wasting my time. Number one, I feel like it's actually improving my communication skills. It's helping build my personal brand. It's helping me connect with you all, the audience out there. So if this is the first time watching, shout out to you. Thank you for watching this. But I'm building my audience, my tribe, my brand, and developing my speaking skills just from going live and people connecting with me and connecting with my brand. I've been asked to speak at multiple different events, been asked to be on panels, on different podcasts. So it's unlocking opportunities for me just from being visible, from going live. And I don't see it as wasting my time. I make time. Obviously, I have 2 young kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. And I started my business when my daughter was a couple months old. Literally, I was in a DNP program, working full-time as the director and starting my business as a nurse career coach. So when you're driven, you're in alignment with what you want to do, you have purpose and impact, trust me, you will find time for things that matter to you. Okay. So March 6th and 7th, literally, it's a weekend, Friday and Saturday weekend. You can't tell me that you can't take off a weekend just to come work on your skills, gain knowledge, be in community with other nurses, leaders, entrepreneurs who are not only just building up their own personal development and skills, but you are connecting with the community and building relationships that'll be lifelong, right? So, and you never know, you might leave that conference with your next opportunity, whether it's another job, a consultation, a client, a speaking engagement, something, right? So, I don't want to hear that I don't have time. You can make it to the conference, March 6th and 7th, Nurses Making Business Moves. In fact, I'm going to put Nurses Making Business Moves.com up here on LinkedIn and stuff. So if you're interested to learn more about the conference, I actually have a info session tomorrow. I have the flyer on LinkedIn, but if you're interested, just send me a message and I'll send you the registration Zoom link so that you guys can register. So it's called nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. You can purchase your ticket there. You can learn more about the conference, last year's conference, how you can get tickets, how you can be an exhibitor or like a vendor or a sponsor. I am accepting donations of any kind, any level. And there are multiple tiers in terms of sponsorship. So go to that website and check it out, Nurses Making Business Moves. If you're just joining me and you're like, what are we talking about here? My name is Dr. Farah Laurent. I'm talking about the 5 top excuses that are keeping you stuck in your career as a nurse and keeping you broke so that you're not really advancing and you're just staying comfortable, right? So we talked about reason number 1 that, like I said, I've had all of these excuses. Number 1, too expensive, right? But you got to think about it in terms of an investment. If you really care about your personal development, you will make that investment. Number 2, I don't have time. Okay. I've used that countless times. Like, oh, I have a job. I'm working. You could take time off. I have kids. Find somebody to watch the kids. Whatever, right? I don't have time. That was excuse number 2. Number 3 is I'm not ready, right? So I'm not ready part, or I'm going to do it next year, or I'm going to wait a little bit until this or until that, and then you start placing all the circumstances. That's really just, you know, that's just fear. You're just dressing that up, but truly underneath it all, it's fear. No one's ever ready, right? You're not ready to, you know, for all the parents out there, for example, if you have a baby, like, are you really ever ready to be a parent and to like raise another human being? Not really. To be a nurse, you're always going to have that feeling like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But you just got to jump in there and do it, right? Same thing with a business or pivoting into another career, or attending the conference. You might be like, oh, I'm going to do it next year. Well, I heard people say that, right? They missed out on last year's conference. And honestly, this is the conference of the year. And this is the business conference for nurses. If you want to be in business, grow your business, this is the conference you have to be at, okay? It's going to be lit. I got a DJ, everything, okay? The energy is going to be right, the speakers, and everybody really takes away something from that conference, okay? So stop with the I'm not ready. Even my Canadians out there's people that came last time from Canada, 20 different states in the US. So they found the time, they made a way, and they were ready, and they just came through, right? People are coming all the way from Australia and even the UK. So don't tell me like, oh, I live in Canada. I'm Canadian too, right? They're like, oh, I'm in Canada. I don't know if I can make it. Something called the airport, right? You could literally get on a plane and come. So stop with the excuses, okay? I just talked to somebody yesterday on LinkedIn. Shout out to her. I'm not going to say who it is to call her out, but she's from Washington State. She's in a DMP program, and she's like, I don't know, I'm in a DMP program. I don't know if I have the time to come and get the flight. And I actually was like, oh, check the flight from Seattle to Tampa. And I think it was like a $500 round trip. So there's easy flights to get into Tampa. The international airport is about 10 minutes from the venue. So the venue is at the University of Tampa in their entrepreneurship building. So it's really easy to navigate and to get to the airport. It's only like a 10-minute Uber ride to get there. And that all that information is on the website, so you can definitely check it out. And then number 4 is, well, I don't have a formed business. I don't have an actual official registered business, but that doesn't mean that you can't start learning about business, start learning about marketing or personal branding or how to create content. In fact, you actually want to do that before you actually register your business. So I hear some nurses are like, well, do I have to have a business to actually come to the conference? But you don't need a formed business. And I actually know a lot of nurses who came to the conference, and then shortly after, a few months later, they actually opened up their own practice and their own businesses. So definitely check that out. Like I said, you can go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com and you'll find out all the information. And even if you're not interested in particularly starting a business, this conference will also help you with career growth, right? You'll learn how to position yourself for success, learn how to be more visible for promotions, and just simply network, right? Just because you don't have a business doesn't mean you can't be in the room, okay? And then lastly, another objection or like an excuse that some people may say is like, oh, well, I can just learn all these things online for free, right? But there's a difference between having a massive amount of information, like access obviously to Google or AI, but the information is not really packaged in a way that's like easily followed, right? So you're going to be sent all over the place. You might watch multiple podcasts or videos, and you might not be really sure about the step-by-step. This conference will provide really the step-by-step for you on how to build a business. And you'll actually have real people to ask about their journey. So let's say you want to open a med spa, for example, right? You might have somebody there who already has a med spa, and you can ask them specific questions that you may not necessarily find on Google. Or it's going to save you time. Instead of researching for months and months, you can get your answer directly from the source, like that person who actually did it, right? So there were people last year who had IV hydration businesses in different states and things like that, because also different states might have different rules. So you'll have access to individuals that actually already have formed their businesses and that are growing, and that you can actually ask them questions. Yeah. And then, you know, some people watch videos and content, but they don't actually do anything with it, right? They don't actually execute and get it done and take the action. So coming to the conference, you'll actually have your step-by-step guide, and you'll have people there kind of holding you accountable, talking to you through the ins and outs and navigating the challenges of business, so that it'll prevent you from making the same mistakes maybe that they've done, and then really giving you real information that they've actually executed, right? So that's another benefit of coming to the conference, is that you'll get, real information and get it directly from the source. Okay. And then also, it's different. Being in the room is really transformational. Just consuming content, random content online, is different than actually being there in person, because the event is really transformational. Like I said, people walked away with a different perspective of their mindset, ready to go, ready to build their business and build a path to wealth, instead of just trying to do it on their own, trying to figure it out on their own. This is really a community, and it's not just nurses. I just want to throw that out there. There's other, marketing experts, finance, pitching, sales experts that you can actually ask questions to. And this is what makes this conference different. There's no conference like this out there. It's a mix of nurses who are entrepreneurs and also other female entrepreneurs and business owners, right? So it's a real community of powerhouses that there's no gatekeeping. So you'll actually get the information from the source. All right. So like I said, the real cost of staying comfortable is just another year of you just waiting around, not doing anything, not taking action. Another year of doubt, playing small. And, some people are not currently happy in their current role, and they just keep waiting and waiting and waiting because of fear, or they're just not sure what to do, what the next step is. So this is why I designed this conference, so that you don't have to second guess. You don't have to think like, oh, what's the next step? Should I start this business? Is this business even a good idea? Will it be profitable? These are all questions that you will be able to ask at the conference, and that we're going to address in the content that we cover with all the different various speakers. Okay. So like I said, it's not just another conference or an event. It's really a transformation, building a movement and a community. And if you're tired of just, sitting on the sidelines and saying, yeah, I'm going to do it next year, I'm going to do it next time, or I'm going to wait until I finish my DMP program, or, you're going to keep staying comfortable and you're not going to take any action, right? And then safety does not lead to success. You have to get out of your comfort zone, be in a different space, be in a different environment around like-minded people who are, business-minded, and also who will hold you accountable and push you towards growth. All right. So that's really my top 5. And again, if you, like I said, want more information specifically about the conference, you can go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. You can direct message me, or you can register for the free information session tomorrow. So I'll share the flyer again after this live is done, and you can register for the Zoom session. It'll be like a 30-minute Q&A session where you can ask any questions about the conference. Again, it's happening in Tampa, Florida, March 6th and 7th at the University of Tampa in their entrepreneurship building. And I didn't share this previously, but the last day to get your tickets will be February 14th, and then that's it. Unless the tickets sell out, then, obviously it'll be before that. Okay, but that's your absolutely last chance to get your tickets. But I wouldn't wait till then. I would just get your tickets now because it will definitely be sold out. For those who want to sponsor the event, or you're thinking about having an exhibitor table, if you have something to sell, a product, maybe you have jewelry or clothing, or even maybe you wrote a book recently and you want to be in front of nurses, leaders, executives, entrepreneurs, there are tables still left. So I would just direct message me, or you can email me. All the information is on the nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com website. What else? Yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, and if you're watching the replay, drop them in the chat, and I will go back and answer any of your questions or comments that you guys have. And yeah, if that's it really for me. I see people on TikTok. I don't know if there's any questions. Let me look through real quick to make sure. This is your opportunity to ask any questions you have about the conference. And again, you don't have to be a nurse to attend. You don't have to have a formed business to attend. Okay, millionaire nurse. Hey, what's up? I hope you can attend the conference. I know you were asking last time about the conference. All right, so that's it for me. Look out for more lives throughout the week, more content. And please go and check out the information on nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. All right, take care.